Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state attends 34th African Union Summit by video conference. The launching of the second sessions of the athletics meetings in Addis Ababa region. For the international scene, future varieties more resistant to current vaccines against coronavirus. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, he is taking part this Saturday in the 34th Ordinary Summit of the African Union, which due to the global health context marked by the coronavirus is taking place through a video conference. The main agenda of this summit is dedicated to the evaluations of the economic and social repercussions linked for Africa to the initiations of a greater valorization and integration of its cultural, artistic and intellectual heritage. However, in view of the realities on the ground, certain issues including the COVID-19 crisis and armed conflicts have been added to the agenda of this summit. This morning, President Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo succeeded to the South African head of state Cyril Ramaphosa at the head of the rotating presidency of the African Union. The renewal of the portfolio will also cover the member of the Commission which serves as the executive power within the Pan-African organization. In this regard, the Republic of Djibouti through Ms. Hasna Barkhat Dawood is a candidate for the vice presidency of the Commission, a lawyer by training with extensive professional and political experience, having previously served as a lawyer, parliamentarian and minister. The Djiboutian candidate has a highly privileged profile to be elected to the post of vice president of the Commission. In addition to the renewal of the members of the Commission, the activity of the first day of the 34th African Union Summit also served as a forum for the appreciations of the reforms adopted in the framework of the functioning of Pan-African organizations. On this particular aspect of the discussion, the main issue for African leaders was to assess the capacity of the reforms undertaken to connect the organizations to financial autonomy and optimal responsiveness to the multifaceted challenges on the agenda of these member countries. It should be recalled that these reforms have been led since 2008 by the Rwandan President Paul Kagame, who moreover presented a report on this theme to his fellow African head of state and government in the early afternoon. The Republic of Djibouti, which is in line with all the theme of this 34th summit, belongs to the circle of the African nations that have rapidly complied with the requirements for an upward review of the budget granted to the organization with a view to its financial independence. The participation of Djibouti in this summit was marked, among other things, by a first intervention that the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, has already made this afternoon at the rostrum of this event. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Ambassador of Djibouti to Ethiopia, Mohamed Idris Farah, and the Djiboutian candidate for the post of Vice Chairpersons of the African Union Commission are assisting President Guelleh at this summit. This morning, the National Committee of the Young EOGists, equipped with a shovel and pickups, crisscrossed all the different neighborhoods of the municipality of Bulaus and Balbala for a cleanup. The authorities want to stop the anarchic occupations of public space. The aim is to make Djibouti a place where it is good to live and to erase the images of dirt that sticks to the capital. An urgent need to put an end to urban congestion, insalubrity, and illegal occupations of public space. The Minister of Communication in charge of Post Telecommunication, Radwan Abdullahi Bahdon, visit the site to see firsthand the good progress of his citizens' activity. On the other hand, the Directorate of Sanitation is committed to support this initiative by providing equipment and materials that will allow for a clean and healthy city. This cleanup operation, rehabilitations of public square, awareness raising operation on selective sportive in school, noting will be neglected so that the Djiboutian capital regains its former splendor. Triumph for the Republican Guard athletics teams these mornings at Anglais Stadium during the second sessions of Asajog athletics meetings in Addis Ababa. They rich in sports activity. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, Mr. Musa Adan Migane, the Prefect of Addis Ababa region, Saeed Ismail Hassan, the Colonel of the Republican Guard, and Mohammed Jama, the President of the Djiboutian Federations of Athletics, the deputies, and several civil military authorities of Addis Ababa region. This competition also saw the participation of our female prodigy athletes of the Republican Guard, such as Khadra Mohammed Dembil and Wazira Jama Farah. They proved that physical performances do not belong only to men. The president of the Athletic Federation was delighted with this competition and reminded the Ashajog have the chance to organize these kind of competitions in this file, and we intend to organize a selective competition said for the young talent in order to better prepare the replacement of their predecessors. For his part, the State Secretary for Youth and Sports, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, said that the competition went well and recalled that this competition is a preparation for the organizations of all the athletics competition as well as the half marathon, the semi-marathon, which will take place on March 5, 2021. He thanked the prefect of the regions and the president of the federations. Several dozen staff in charges of neonatal health has completed the training on trainer courses of a baby-friendly hospital initiative. The closing ceremony of this training took place in the presence of the Director of Mother and Child Health, Ms. Fatum Ali Abdallah, and the Senior Advisor is Mr. Abdul Qadir Muhammad Karat. The Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative is a global initiative for the promotion of breastfeeding, which intervenes in the fight against child malnutrition. The future trainers are therefore made up of maternity ward supervisor, regional nutritionists, focal points, and technical managers from the Mother and Child Directorate, who in the future will be able to trigger cascade training in all maternity and neonatal services in the country. All beneficiaries received certificate from senior officials of the Ministry of Health. On Friday, 5 February 2021, at around 5 p.m., the Djiboutian Coast Guard received a distress call reporting the sinking of a pleasure craft between Musha Island and the port of Djibouti. Immediately, a large-scale search and rescue operations at sea was launched by the Djibouti Coast Guard, a rapid interventions patrol boat with the rescue teams on board were dispatched to the scene of the incident. On arrivals, they found that the boat was completely overturned and passengers were hooked to the boat to prevent drowning. The 9 passengers, 3 Ethiopian and 6 Djiboutian, were immediately rescued and were all brought back safe and sound to the Djibouti Coast Guard patrol boat, which took them to the fishing port. The preliminary investigation is revealed, according to the pilot's statement, that the sinking of the boat was caused by strong waves which threw the boat off balance. The boat was towed to the fishing port by Djiboutian Coast Guard teams. The village of Balho is in full economic effervescence since the construction of the Tajura-Balho Road, which was inaugurated in person by the President of the Republic. Located in the north of the country in the Tajura region, Balho has a primary school, health center, other social infrastructure. The women of Balho are asking for the construction of a center to boost and market their handicraft. They are making unthinkable effort to improve their lives by confessing and selling their handicraft, which today lack cell structures. The nomadic population has turned to small shops and small restaurants which have been created. It is a strategic position on the border of Ethiopia and give it a promising future. Several Ethiopian trucks pass through the village of Balho to serve the port of Tajura. These economic activities are a godsend for the population of Balho. These economic activities are a godsend for the population of Balho. All the inhabitants of Balho thank the President of the Republic for having responded favorably to the wishes of the population of Balho. And it is with deep sadness that we learned of the death of Muhammad Ali Salah, who has reached his final heavenly resting place. The deceased was the father-in-law of our colleague Muhammad Sheikh Burhan. He was born on 16 January 1957 and leaves behind him 7 children and 7 grandchildren. All the staff of Djibouti Radio Televisions express their most sincere condolence and deepest sympathy to our colleague Muhammad Sheikh. We share your sorrows and we pray the Most High to inspire patience, comfort and consolation. May the Almighty welcome him in his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, the head of the World Health Organization is in Europe, called Friday on Europeans to speed up their vaccination campaign against COVID-19, while the American laboratory Johnson & Johnson asked the United States to urgently authorize its vaccines in a single dose. We must join forces to speed up vaccination, is called the organization's regional director Hans Klug acknowledged he was worried about the impact of variants on the effectiveness of vaccines. Usually, competing pharmaceutical companies have to join forces to drastically increase production capacity. That's what we need. The Copenhagen-based official insisted as a European Union vaccination campaign got off to a difficult start with only 2.5% of EU populations having received a first dose in the United States, after Pfizer's BioNTech and Moderna, a third vaccine that of Johnson & Johnson is awaiting for green light from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. As the vaccine is urgently awaiting because it has 2 important advantages. It can be stored at refrigerator rather than freezer temperature. It can be administered in a single dose. Johnson & Johnson has committed to shipping 100 million doses to U.S. by the end of June. And to close up this session, they found refugees in the Felix Houphouët-Boigny school located at Pika 2020 at the northern seat of Bangui. More than 2,000 women and children fleeing the violence that took place on January 13 in the capital between the coalitions of armed group and the security forces. Since then, women and children find themselves deprived of everything and call for help from the international community. We women are suffering a lot. We have the children and we sleep on the ground. We have on no clothes, no cover. Our children, we sleep like animals, she said. With them there is no drinking waters and we have serious health problems and we are afraid to go home because the rebels are scattered everywhere. We want peace, she said. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.